Hello everyone, thank you for joining me and watching this video today. My name is David, I'm a life coach, and I try to help people heal and recover and grow from different kinds of trauma. Today's directed towards emotional trauma and emotional abuse and emotional neglect. This video is to help you guys, the viewers, try to see where maybe you were emotionally abused or neglected in childhood. It is an extremely difficult thing for someone to see in their own life sometimes. Sometimes some people can identify it right away, but there's it's so often that I have to really show somebody how they were neglected or abused in childhood. We like to think that we all had a normal childhood, and maybe that's what is normal, right? Maybe having some neglect, some abuse, and things like this is normal, but trauma is not. Trauma is not normal, and neglect causes trauma. And trauma causes shame. And if we grow up not understanding this, we may never rid ourselves of shame and guilt that we had in childhood. I want to be very clear that this is not a label or a diagnosis for anyone. Narcissistic is simply behaviors. This narcissistic personality disorder is a whole different thing. That's a criteria that must be met. And I know often a lot of you guys might be wondering if one of your parents or both your parents are narcissists, and you go back and forth with this. So let's drop the label today. Let's talk about what narcissistic parenting is. And again, this is not to criticize or attack any parents, okay? This is to help you, the viewer, understand your own childhood so we can heal, so we can move on and grow from it and have functional, healthy relationships in our future. Typically, the parent or parents raise the child to meet the needs of the parent, and anything else, including meeting their own needs, is selfish and wrong. And doing what your parents want you to do for them is good. And so we have this kind of reward system that creates an illusion to us that we need to meet other people's needs to get what we want and need. And it couldn't be more wrong. Couldn't be more wrong. So typically, parents, narcissistic parents, do not want to be vulnerable. They depend on the child, and which is very important to understand. We need to depend on our parents as children. And the parents need to be self-sufficient and independent and totally be able to take care of themselves and don't need the child to be there for them in any way. Depending on your parents is a good thing, and eventually we want to stop that and we want to fly from the nest and be independent. If your parents are dependent on you, we don't do that. We look for other dependent relationships. We look for other people that depend on us, and this is dependency, emotional dependency, codependency. Narcissistic parents will always be more important. Whether it's their emotions, their needs, their wants, their opinions, their ideas, always more important than the child's. Parents that didn't receive enough love from their parents may look to their children for it. Okay, that's what's kind of going on. So I listed some things of what it looks like to be an adult children of a narcissistic parent, what it feels like. So I just want to list some things to help you guys identify with this. And none of these mean anything, no label, no diagnosis, and it doesn't mean if you identify with some of these things, doesn't exactly mean your parents are narcissistic, okay? It's a mixture of these things. Stomach aches and headaches in childhood is the first way that people identify that a child is being abused or neglected. These stomach aches and headaches can get worse as we don't heal. As we get into adult relationships that are similar to our child relationships of narcissistic parents, these stomach aches and headaches can get worse, and I've seen all kinds of illnesses and diseases and things that people get because of this. Self-doubt, doubting yourself. Being neglected in childhood is absolutely damaging in adulthood and creates this self-doubt. Feelings that you're never good enough all the time. Never good enough. Feelings that even when things are good, it means they're going to be bad. Bad is right around the corner. Having dramatic relationships in adulthood, where there may even be abuse or neglect in your relationships. Good sign that that's your childhood. Feelings of low self-worth, low self-esteem, and low confidence. Parents are supposed to encourage us to try and let us form who we are and build confidence and esteem and worth. Being the overachiever, right? Being pushed hard to achieve. I've got to finish this school and go on to more school, and I've got to be the best in the company and just go, go, go. And also having narcissistic parental traits yourself as a parent. We parent children the way we were parented generally and tend to be just a little bit better. That's kind of how it goes, okay? So if we were raised by narcissistic parents, we may tend to have some of these narcissistic parental traits ourselves as we're raising our own child. That's why it's very important to discover this and find out who we are and what happened. Relationships with parents and others are stressful rather than comfortable. Relationships with people are to add comfort to our life, not stress. Okay? And another one that's a little clue that you may have had a hard childhood, if you're not aware of it already, that you don't want children of your own. Typically, that's the biggest reason why people don't want children of their own, if they can, and they're married and they have somebody that they could have children with and they decide not to. Typically, it's because your own childhood was so difficult. Okay? So here's 15 things to identify with narcissistic parents. Number 1, they're insensitive or no consideration for your feelings. Dismissive, ignoring you, cutting you off, silent treatment. Not allowing expression of who you are, of what you want, of what you need, of how you feel. Telling you how you should feel. You shouldn't feel that way. Little Johnny over there doesn't feel that way. Little Johnny doesn't talk to his parents that way. Little Johnny, okay? Comparing you to other children, like I just did, right? Other 14-year-old girls wouldn't talk to their parents that way. Other 12-year-old boys don't want that. Other children, your little Johnny got an A, why couldn't you get an A? This comparison to other children is so damaging, it's not even funny. We create low self-esteem by doing that ourselves. When we start comparing ourselves to other people, it causes low self-esteem. Because there's always going to be someone bigger, stronger, smarter, prettier, all of that than you. Always somebody else that's more. So when we start doing that, it doesn't matter if we find someone who's uglier than us. There's going to be someone prettier than us. And what are we going to do now if we live that way? And if we find ourselves doing that, we may have had that done to us as children by our parents. Parents have temper, rage, anger, or violent. Violence isn't just hitting people, okay? Violence is banging, slamming, yelling, screaming, hitting things, throwing stuff. That's violence. Children cannot be exposed to that at all. That's total danger. And the more that we're exposed to danger in childhood, the more we don't protect ourselves in adulthood when we're in danger, okay? Narcissistic parents' emotions may be more important than yours. So here we want to express that we're very upset, came home from school and something happened, but mom is very upset. She's crying, she's angry, whatever it is, and we be quiet. We learn that mom's emotions are more important than ours. They're louder, so we stay quiet. Dad might be very angry, had enough. Right? Maybe a little violence, anger, mad. We don't say anything about how we feel. Dad's emotions are more important than us. Okay? Next. Number 5. Narcissistic parents will blame others. Right? Narcissists do that. And they may blame you. For a parent to blame a child that something that is wrong with the parent's life or in the household is their fault, is taking no responsibility as a parent. Children are innocent. Children are innocent. And a lot of times, too often, they're the silent victims, getting blamed for everything, feeling guilt and shame growing up, okay? Narcissistic parents will be judgmental. Judging others, talking bad about others, right? Maybe judging you, judging each other. Talking about maybe they have people over, company, and when they leave, they talk bad about them. Oh, they're just not good. Did you see what they're wearing? They just don't make enough money. So and so lost their job, and it's this kind of condescending attitude, judging others. Narcissistic parents quite often will not be aware of their own flaws. We all have flaws, right? But if you don't know your parents to have any, or they're not aware of their own, you might be narcissistic parents. Narcissistic parents typically will have what's called a low stress tolerance. So they become rigid. They're not flexible. They're stubborn, overbearing. Narcissistic parents will be controlling and invade your privacy. They may go through your belongings, in your space, go through your phone, go through your papers, talk to teachers and stuff like this, all about you, trying to find information about you, send you to therapy and want to talk to your therapist and want to know what they said, what you guys talked about. They may even get involved in your relationships, may even tell you what to wear all the time. Narcissistic parents tend to value appearance, style, and status. Appearance and style doesn't necessarily mean that I have to wear gold and I have to have my hair and nails and makeup done all the time. It could be I have lots of plastic surgery. It could be I don't want don't park your ugly car in our driveway. I don't know what the neighbors will think, right? There's something wrong with the house. The neighbors might see it, fix it quick. All this stuff. Not showing them who they really are, hiding secrets. And here again, I want to say narcissistic parents tend to need you emotionally, and that can be a very hard thing to identify. You may just be simply someone that tolerates or accepts their bad behavior, or maybe you comfort the parent, okay? Narcissistic parents tend to humiliate their child, talks bad about the child in front of them and behind them, embarrasses the child. That is one of the worst things a parent can do. And I've known parents that raise their children by this, by humiliation and embarrassment. You aren't going to do it? I'm going to go tell the neighbors how bad you are. I'm going to tell your friends how bad you are. I'm going to tell our friends. I'm going to tell your teachers. I'm going to tell, do you see this? It's awful. Awful. Just a great way to cause shame in your child right away. Parents that are narcissistic will guilt trip. Give you gifts and rewards and bring them up forever. Keep the tally, right? Remember I got you that thing? You owe me. Remember I did that for you? You owe me. I'm a bad mom, right? You tell something that you tell your mom or dad something that they did that didn't feel good, that you didn't like, right? And they go, oh God, I'm a bad parent. I'm just a bad mom. I'm a bad dad. Very common. May guilt trip with your failures, not just what we gave you. Bring up your failures over and over and over again 2 years later. Remember you failed at this, at that? Remember you didn't do what we told you? Remember how bad you used to be? Narcissistic parents may tend to govern all aspects of your life. Not just invade your privacy or control, but literally govern all aspects of your life. I've had many clients in their mid-20s that still live with their parents or may not, and their parents tell them every single thing they can and can't do still. We don't even really want to do that as their little children. We want little children every once in a while to spontaneously just run out the door and go play and have fun. We want to allow children to act silly, act weird, have temper tantrums, argue back with us, stand up for themselves. Instead of no. You need to do this. You need to date this person. We don't like this friend. You're going to this school. You're going to be wearing these clothes. You're going to be, just govern everything. I've had a lot of narcissistic parents that don't want their children to talk to me. Oh no, you shouldn't talk to, and you should talk to anyone. You don't need a therapist. You don't need a counselor. You don't need a life coach. Yeah, you don't want, I'm talking to the parent, you don't want your child to know, to start accepting or not accepting your illusion. Here's a big one, the last one, number 15. Narcissistic parents will tend to be completely different people in society around others than they are at home, right? Out in society, they're good, and I donate, and I give, and I help, and I got a good job, and I succeed at it, and we've got all these nice things, and we're so great and smiling. The second they get home, that smile drops, and they're angry, they're sad, they're depressed. Not good, not good. That's it. That's 15 traits of or signs of narcissistic parenting. I hope you guys all got something out of this. Please tell me what you think down below. Anybody interested in coaching, please find me at daviddemars.com. The link's down below in the description box. Ask me questions. Tell me what you guys think. I would love to hear more. There's definitely a whole lot more than 15. I would love to hear some from you guys. And again, we're not calling your parents narcissists. We're identifying behaviors. Very, very crucial in healing. If we don't, we tend to repeat and repeat and repeat this, okay? And we're wasting our life and not having our needs fulfilled, okay? Thank you, guys. Love yourself first. Let me know what you think. If you could support me and you think that you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, go down and comment below, share this in places with people. Thank you. Love yourself first. Bye.